some of them you can repeat indefinitely without actually blocking your your account. So for instance, we can have uh, a password. For example, we have our password like this. Our password is let's say my pass, like that. Then we now want a user to guess a password. If it is not equal to my pass as the one that we have, the system will keep on asking the user to enter the password. Let's go. So you can have while, okay, we can have a user input. Let's say user password is equal to input. You ask the user to enter your password, like that. And then let me close this, and then now we want to compare if this password that the user enters is similar to this one that we have stored in this variable known as my pass. Admit. Okay, those who are joining right now, you are welcome. We are doing the while loop. So try again like this. So you tell the user to try again. If the user the password is not correct, then you can say user pass like that is equal to input. So you capture again the password like that. So after that, maybe the username is correct, you can print and say, let me add some white space so that the program is easily readable. Print, and this is print. You can now, once they enter the correct password, you can now say login successful, like that, and maybe grant them access to your system. So let's run this and see. I run. Okay, let me clear this first so that so for this one, we know the password should be my pass, but let's try a different. It is asking me to enter the password, so let me enter a different password, like 1234. So it is telling me you entered a wrong password, try again. So I can also try like that. It is telling me also you entered the wrong password, try again. So let me try the one that we had as initialized, my pass, like that. You see, once I enter the correct one, it tells me login successful. Control statements inside a loop. Control statements inside a loop, and then we will also look at conditional statements inside a loop. So sometimes, for instance, here you have your let me. Okay, can I have another program? Okay, I can just comment on this so that guys can. I hope you also understand what I'm doing, commenting, so that that part where it starts with a hash is not executed. So we have the for loop. I want us to print for index in range 0 to 10, like that. I want us, if I do this and then I say maybe print print index, if I do this, it will print from 0 to 9. But sometimes you see it is printing from 0 to 9. Sometimes you might want to skip something. So if you want to skip part of your program, you can use either an if statement, or yeah, you can use an if statement to skip. For example, you can say if index is 6, if index is equal to 6, like that, you use double equal signs. So this is an if statement inside a for loop. and then you can say, and you see I'm also indenting this one, so I'm starting at this point, I'm not starting at, so to mean that this whatever I'm writing below is inside the if. So if that, if it is equals to 6, I can say print I am getting out of the loop, like this. So if I print that, I can also say continue. So we have this keyword continue, like that. So let me run this program and see. So you can see I have printed 0 to 9, but when it is at position 6, it it says I am getting out of the loop, but it prints that part and then it now continues to print 7, 8, 9. So that means I have used this word continue, and also I have used this conditional statement. I have used an if statement to check if the value at index, this one, is 6. So if the value is 6, it will print this. And then continue means that it will stop that loop, that round. For a loop is like a round. So for this one, it goes like 9 rounds. So if it's at round number 6, and then I do this, I say continue, it will stop at that round and then go back and start again at round 7, 8, and so on. But there is another word known as break. So if I use break as the keyword, it will stop completely. It will stop execution of that piece of code. So let's run with this break. Instead of continue, we have break and see, and observe what is the difference. You see, for this one, let me bring. So okay, for this one, it says I'm getting out of the loop, and it does not execute the rest of 7, 8, 9. So that is the difference between continue and break keywords as used in loops. So when you do, when you break it, it means it will stop everything. It will not repeat the cycle. It will not continue to loop. But if you say continue, it just keeps that bit and then it goes back to loop until the last bit. Admit them. While loop, the for loop, and we talked about the continue, the if else statement. So let me show you something else. For example, you want to print maybe you want to print odd numbers, use 1 and 20. For you to know if a number is odd, of course you divide by 2, and when you get a remainder, you know that it is odd. If you get a remainder as 0, you know that it is even. So that is the basic test. And in Python, to test for remainder, we use a mathematical operator known as modulus. The symbol for modulus is the percent sign. So let's say we have a number. Let's say we have number is 20. Then let me now use the while loop. I can say while number is less than or equal to 20. Do that. What do we want? We want it to bring us the odd numbers, to print the odd numbers. So you can say if number modulo, modulus, you write like that, then 2 is equal to 1. So this part is testing the number that we have, which is 20, If you divide it by 2 and then you get 1, then you can print and say that let me use this one. Let me use this formatting. So you can say the number is odd, like that. Or I can print the number itself. I can say I can have this, say number is odd, like that. So I'll print, then I print the number. Okay, I've already printed the number here. Then I can say number minus 1. So for this one, for this kind of I've started with the higher number, so we want it to count from 20 to 0. So I will be able to decrement. The other one I was incrementing, and for this one I'm decrementing. To decrement means that I'm subtracting. It is running indefinitely, and this is what we call an indefinite loop. So you have to control them. It doesn't print whatever that is below 20. So I want it to reach 0 so that it exits the loop. Otherwise, if I do this, it prints all the way from 20 to 0, then it starts printing the negatives. And if I run this, I hope you can see the negatives. It is printing even the negatives like that, and it will print forever. So for you to terminate or to stop once it is at 0, you can also have an if statement and then say if number is 0, what do? You terminate or you break. You can say break, like that. So it will stop at position 0. So let's run this and see. You see, it begins from 19 and says 19 is odd, 17 is odd, 15 is odd, like that. And then once it checks and finds that it is below 0, it stops and then tells you the program has terminated it. And you can use the control structures such as if. So lists are data structures that are used to hold a series of or several items. A list can be used to hold several items. For example, instead of saying subject 1 is maybe English, subject 2 is Kiswahili, then subject 3 is, let's say, math. Instead of writing all these, you can put them in a list and just have a single variable name and call it maybe subjects is equal to, then you put, for you to declare a list, you put the angle brackets, these ones. So whatever you want, you put inside that list. Other programming languages call lists as they use what we call arrays, but Python use lists. They call it lists. So lists and arrays are almost the same thing, but there are some differences here and there, because in Python will support, a list will support different data types, but an array supports data of the same data type. If it is integers, it should be integers, but for lists, it can combine integers and so on. So you can have this and then say maybe this is English, like that. Then you separate with a comma and say This is Kiswahili, like that, and you separate with the comma. I'm putting double quotes because they are strings. Mathematics. So this is how you declare a string, a list, and that's how you assign values to a list, simply like that. So if I run this program, I say print list, print subjects, so it will be able to show me all the subjects that are here. So if I do this, you see it is printing exactly the same way I have declared it there. And then when you're talking about lists, there are some methods that you can use. Kiswahili is at position 1 because once we start at 0 for English, the next is 1. So Kiswahili is at 1. Then mathematics is at 2. If you have another one, it will be at 3 and so on. I hope that is clear. We start counting from position 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way. And then sometimes, so for example, I want to print the value at position 2 or position 1. So I can say print, then I write subjects like that, and then I put the angle brackets and I put the position 2 like that. And then I close. Take note of this, position 2, because we start from position 0, position 1, position 2, or index 0, index 1, index 2, and so on. Guys, I hope I'm clear. Nione kama watu wanatuma maswali hapa kwa email, kwa in-call messages. No question, no response. Okay, there's a response. And nimeona thumbs up. Thank you for confirming that it is clear. Now, you can also, for example, I want to check the length of this. I can say print, or I can just have another variable and say length is subjects. I have the variable name length, then dot, in brackets, then subject. So if I have this function len, it stands for length. So it will return the length of that. So if I print length here, it is supposed to bring me the length of this list. So let's try and see. Oh, it is bringing an error saying that there is something. I've written length. Sometimes I confuse th. So you can see that's where my English has reached. Instead of th, I'm printing ht. So that is the error that I have here. This is length, correct spelling, but this is length, wrong spelling. So known as append. Append. It is not a function, it is a method like that. Then after adding this, if I come and print the length or check or even print the whole list, if I copy this one here and print the whole list, it will include that new subject that I have added. And you can see, it is bringing an error, subjects not defined. Okay, I think there's a spelling error. This one, I've omitted the C. Yeah, let's run again. So a small error can give you a sleepless night, even a single letter. You can see just omitting a C, it brings an error. So you see this one, it is printing length, English, Kiswahili, math, history, because I have added that value. So once I have added it, it means now it has 4 elements. So the length is 4, and then history, because it will be appended at the end, inakuwa hapa mwisho. It becomes now the last element in that list. So kama hii element iko na 4, insert. But insert comes with something extra. It comes with the index where you want. You specify where you want to insert. Okay, I'm loving the feedback from Hurricane. And Donija is saying that will you share the recording? Yes, I'm trying to record. I will share. But I'm not sure if the recording is okay. But I'm trying to record. And okay, so this is position 2 is here, not here, because we start 0, 1, 2, and then I say comma, I add another subject there, let's say geography like that. Then I close this. If I print subjects, so because I had indicated that it comes at position 2, so it has come at position 2, and whatever was at position 2, which is mathematics, has been pushed to the right, like that. So those are some of the methods that you can apply on a list. You can also remove an item from a list. You can also remove, for example, I want to remove Kiswahili. I just say subjects, geography, mathematics. It has removed Kiswahili. So you can remove. Aha. You can also delete an item. Instead of remove, you can choose to delete. And when you want to delete, you use this keyword. These are keyword. These ones are methods. This is a method, this is a method, this is a method. But this is a keyword. You can write delete, then subjects. And for this one, you specify the, for example, if I say remove at position 1, it will remove the value at position 1. So if I run this, you see, or the index. But for remove, you use the word, the exact word that you want to remove. For this one here, I used exact word Kiswahili. So it will search for that word. But for this one, it will search for whatever is at position 1. And I'm still repeating, at position 1, like this one here, whatever is here is, this is at position 0, this is at position 1. So it will go to that position and remove whatever is there. Alright, those are some of the methods. They are not exhaustive, there are still many more. You can get the mapped out on how to sort a list in ascending order, in descending order. Also do research on how to get the maximum from a list, how to get maybe the minimum from a list, and so on. But just before I go to something else, let me talk about list concatenation. To concatenate means just to combine. For example, you can have cat1 as maybe 10, 5, 90, like that. Then you have cat2 as let's say 40, 20, and 70, like that. Then you want to concatenate or to combine them. So to combine them into another variable, or you can say maybe end term. So you can just add cat1 plus cat2, like that. Then maybe print end term. Are we okay? Are we there? So if I do this and run second list cat2, and then it prints the end term. So that's how you concatenate. You just use the plus sign to combine two or more lists together. Okay, allow me now to talk about, okay, of course you can also loop a list. You can use while loop to loop a list. For example, uh, while loop or for loop. For example, you can say for index in range, then you can say maybe 0, and then you want to loop up to the last item. You can use length with the bracket here. So let me run that. You see it is printing mathematics English, so you can print uh, each individual item or each individual item in a list. Let me redeclare here subjects as, so that it has all the subjects as this, and then length also x. So for example, and strings, they have their own method that can also be worked on it. You can operate a string. For example, you can concatenate two strings together, combine two strings together. You can check the length of the string. For example, if you are dealing with a program that checks the user password and such like, you use a string to do that. And then you can also loop around a string the same way we've done with the lists. So let's say I ask the user to enter their first name, then to enter their full name, the second name, then we combine the two. So I can say f name, f for first name, is equal to input, enter your first name, like that. And then I can close. Then I say l name is equal to input, enter your surname, like that. So if I do this, I can now have a variable to concatenate the two strings and say full name is equal to, I think this one we did some times back. If it is not true, maybe with another class, then I can add, the addition here is not for the normal mathematics addition, but it is used as a concatenating L name, concatenating operator. So if I print full name, print, I can do this. Your full name is a full name, like that. So let me run this, and I hope you can see the output. The output is asking me to enter your first name. So let me enter Esther, one of the students here. Then the last name I can enter Njagi, like that. So it will print and tell me your full name is Esther Njagi. But you can see these two names zimeshikana. So if you wanted to give space between the two names, you can add an empty string here. So you can concatenate an empty string. Empty string inamaanisha tu space, but unaweka kwa quotes hivi na unaweka space hivyo, then una add. That addition is for concatenating. Run this, then enter the name of a student like Hurricane, like that, Igadwa, like that. You see, it is printing Hurricane Igadwa, and it is now giving space because I have added this empty string. So that means a string can be either empty, it can be numbers, It can be letters, it can be a combination of the two or the three, and it can also be uh, those special characters on the keyboard, the dollar sign, the full stop, and so on. Then you can also check the length of the string. For example, I want to check the length of the full name. I can say um, I want to print your name as then I can now say len full name or len of the first name, f name. It has this, then letters. So if I do this, I run, and so for this one it will ask for the name. Let me write my name and then my last name, like that. So it is telling me your full name is Silverius Indogo, then your name has 9 letters. It has taken 9 letters for the first name, f name here. So this length keyword can be used to indicate or to get the length of a string, and it is very important. For example, unatengeneza system na unataka users akiwa anaandika password between maybe 6 and 8 characters, so unaweza tumia hii to check the length of the password.